93 years of age, 94 on the 2nd December coming, you know. And I'm being interviewed here by a lady who wants to know if ever I was involved in smuggling across the border. Well, I would like to tell you now that smuggling, the word smuggling, should never be mentioned. And anybody that mentions smuggling, they'll never get to heaven. So let's commence with the good lady with the questions about smuggling that she's going to ask me.
Okay, Paddy. Were you born in this area?
No. Born in Newton Street, the upper end of the town.
All right, okay.
19 Newton Street.
19 Newton Street. And did your family move into this house, or did you move in with it and we're a family?
No. Whenever I got married, we lived in Eden Terrace, which is just round the corner. And by the way, the house that I bought was number 13. And a lot of people told me at that time, oh no, I wouldn't go into a house at number 13. Well, I can tell you that all the years I was in it, it was a very, very lucky house, both to me, my wife and my family.
Fair play to you. How many did you rear?
Only 8.
Oh, only 8. Oh, yeah. We beat you. We had 10.
Good.
When you left school, Paddy, were you apprenticed or did you go straight into work?
Oh, I went straight into work.
What kind of work was that?
I worked, strangely enough, the guys that I started off on is on this very street, Railway Street, or Railway Road as some people call it. It was Buchanan's Garage. It's now a tyre depot just a bit further up the street there. Right. And that's a new type now. I'm talking about the old garage that was there, Buchanan's Garage. Okay. And I was there for about 25 years.
Very good. Can you remember when the border came into being?
Well, when the border came into being, I think now that's going a wee bit back for me.
That's fine.
I
That's
wasn't
okay.
really interested in the border.
That's all right. No problem. Did you have family or work contacts in what we call now the Republic?
No.
You've no.
Absolutely not.
That's all right.
No.
What were the differences on either side of the border that led to this to smuggling?
Well, I would think the difference that led to smuggling was prices. Prices. For instance, tea here, for instance, a pound of tea here would be only maybe a shilling and a few pence. Whereas if you got a pound of tea, a bag of tea on the Free State, there, oh my goodness gracious, worth 7 times that amount of money.
Right, so.
Which I'll tell you about later on in the
That's
smuggling.
good on you. How was the smuggling done? Carrying goods over on a person's body, or was it transported over, donkey cart or car or whatever, or by boat?
Well, you laugh when I tell you, I have smuggled stuff across the border on unbelievable vehicles, even on a boat made out of old doors. All the old doors. And we pulled it across the river with ropes. On one occasion, the boat fell into, the door opened, in other words, and then we went to the water. But we were all good swimmers and there was no harm done. I also, at one time, helped a man to smuggle, further down the river now, the foil, I helped a man to take cows across the river. And I held on to their tail with one hand and a big stick in the other hand. So I actually batted the cow across the river. So that's another means we had.
Paddy, did you smuggle to order? You know, did people you work the plan with people and you would take over tea or butter or whatever?
At that particular time, you could take over anything. You know, and I did, as you say, take over quite a lot of tea. And I smuggled over such things as razor blades, Lifebuoy soap, candles, and all that sort of stuff. And one occasion, the funny thing about it, one of the things I smuggled, at that time, turnip seed was very scarce in the Free State. Really? So I bought a consignment of turnip seed and smuggled it across the border to my wife's people over in Lifford. And her father had a garden shed down at the foot of the garden, and that's where I stored this turnip seed. But unfortunately, we lost the market for turnip seed. It didn't pay, it wasn't much good. It wasn't as good as, say, for instance, as the Sunlight soap or the candles that are smuggled over.
Right.
So a couple of the wee bags burst during the time I was waiting on the market to go. With the result that the turnip seed spread all over the place, and it was there that long that it grew that much you could hardly see the bench. It was like a blooming jungle. So that's one of the things I smuggled.
Paddy, I think you're an early entrepreneur, really. But, you know, do you have any other funny stories about your smuggles?
Ah yes, I remember when I got into smuggling then in a bigger way. I'll tell you about my first car. My first car was paid for by smuggling money. I was working in Buchanan's garage and I was sent with the foreman up the town to work at a customer's car that wouldn't refuse to start. And in this garage, I was sent along with the foreman. And in this garage, over in the corner, which I had never seen before, was a lovely wee Austin 7 car.
Oh, the doors open out that way.
And I had my eyes on this wee car.
Wow.
So at that time the money was scarce. But anyway, I queried the man that owned it, and he did a lot of work in Donegal through his own trade. Travelled a lot of Donegal. And flour was very scarce at that time. Everything was rationed.
On both sides of the border.
Ration. Everything was rationed.
Right.
So he made a deal with me. I hadn't got a lot of money. But he says, I'll make a deal with you. If you leave me over 3 bags of white flour and Lifford, I'll give you the car. Well, I nearly went crazy from that on to get 3 bags of flour, and I gathered up and I got a bit of help and money, and I bought 3 bags of flour, which were nearly over, less than £2 a bag, you know. So I smuggled it over, left it in the wife's mother's house, no problem, and come over the next day to go up to the man to get my car, my Austin 7, which was cost me 3 bags of flour. And he wouldn't give it to me. He says, I'm not going to give it to you, I'll go over and see where you left this. He wouldn't believe me. It's like our Lord and the source, you know, the Gospel, the Bible.
Thomas, Doubting Thomas.
So anyway, I had to wait till the next day. Right. I went up to him and he saw it and he gave me the book anyway, wished me good luck. Now that was a very lucky wee car to be, and that was started me on smuggling with 4 wheels. Eventually it led to a bigger car and a bigger car. So I was smuggling over big lots. I got into the big money then. First time in my life ever I had money was through the smuggling.
It's fair play to you. Did you have any run-ins with the authorities when you were crossing over and back?
I had quite a few, but I might as well tell you, the authorities knew.
Anyway.
They all knew what it was, because there was a special patrol in Strabane at that time of 6 specially picked policemen for water guards in the town.
Right.
And the top man in them was a Sergeant Gillanders, who was very well known in Strabane. Right. Sergeant Gillanders. And I met him one day at a wee hairdressing saloon on the Liver Road they called the Mayfair, which is up the street a bit there. Wee Mayfair, hairdressing saloon. Right. I met him there and he pointed the finger at me and he says, Paddy, we'll get you yet. Straight out to me, out in the street. Well, I says to him, Sergeant, you need to be up very early in the morning. That's true, that is quite true.
I love your style.